Earn money, save money and buy things. Living beyond the economic cycle is impossible. What trends are dictated by world markets and how does it affect consumers? Watch it in People and Economy. In this program you will know why thieves of time are so dangerous, what the price of courses and trainings depend on, and what services offers an American time bank. One of the world's richest people, entrepreneur and investor Warren Buffett once said, "You are your best asset." It is worth doing anything that improves your talents and skills. It is really difficult to disagree with this thesis. However, many people still think that we should study while we are young. Nonetheless, in modern life, we should be very skillful and experienced to afford to abandon personal development. Speaking foreign languages is the first and the most critical challenge of today. Director and founder of a language school, Gulmira Kalmakova, describes how she decided to open this institution. Our education center has been functioning for 6 years and we have been working in this area since 2010. This idea came to us spontaneously. I and my colleagues have been working in education for a long time. Some of them worked abroad, others taught English and other foreign languages. So due to the growing popularity of foreign languages, in particular of English, especially among school children and students who nowadays have a chance of studying abroad, we decided to give them advice and help them in finding a proper university, getting visas and entering foreign universities. Nevertheless, the teachers understood soon that for many students, apart from academic advertising services and assistance in finding an appropriate university, it would be very useful to improve their knowledge. In our education center, we opened a language school. Along with English, we also offer courses of French, German, Spanish, Chinese and Kazakh languages. Since recently, the law on trilingual education has been adopted in Kazakhstan. Therefore, the English language has become an integral part in our life. People in our country have always been interested in learning foreign languages. However, over the last years, their interest significantly rose. Nowadays, not only students and school children are improving their competence in languages, but also adults who already obtained their profession and built a career. Indeed, the world is becoming more open and there is always a chance of getting a job abroad or climb the career ladder in the native country. And this means that the need in learning and perfecting knowledge of foreign languages is growing day by day. There are a lot of language centers in Almaty. According to the statistics, there are more than 250 of them. They are very popular among people of Kazakhstan. This is the easiest and fastest way to learn a foreign language without leaving your native country, because many people nowadays have no possibility of visiting English-speaking countries. Competence in English not only expands a person's individual abilities, but for instance, helps during traveling and business trips. The important thing is that it facilitates business operations around the world. Nowadays, English, Spanish and Chinese are most popular languages. For instance, currently, there are a lot of opportunities of traveling to South America. Another reason for that are world trends. Thus, English has become an international language, which allows you, for example, to enter any European university. As for Spanish, currently, we are establishing relations with South America and Europe, where it is also widely spoken. Chinese is important for us because China is our neighbor. We have business relations with China. Many our citizens prefer to study in China because the quality of education in that country is very high. The major trends of foreign language studies at education centers are the following. Many people give preference to individual lessons or studying in small groups. The most popular are comprehensive studies when students are taught grammar, reading, listening and speaking. We mainly practice private or semi-private lessons with 2 or 3 persons in the group. The trend when students wanted to study in large groups has gone because nowadays people want to be high achievers. In large groups, the curriculum is scheduled and we cannot move ahead. Usually such courses last 7 to 8 months. But if you visit private lessons or study in small groups, you can complete one level within 1.5 to 3 months. As the phase goes, the less people we have, the faster is the learning process. Broadly speaking, the main objective of personal development is to enhance human capacity. This includes health, high living standards, comfort and safety. One of the crucial factors of self-education is, of course, knowledge. First, this is the acquisition of profession-related knowledge. However, we should not forget that significant amount of information which allows anyone to become a many-sided and spiritually mature person. Life is moving forward. It does not stand still but runs with acceleration. Researchers have calculated that the half-life of people's knowledge is 1 to 7 years, depending on specialty. In other words, during the period between 1 and 7 years, some knowledge becomes obsolete. For example, among managers, it makes up 4 years. It means that 50% of managers' knowledge becomes outdated forever. And if we do not develop ourselves, there is a high risk that we shall be lagging behind the times. And if we do not stay current, we won't be successful. Nowadays, there is a great many of opportunities of knowledge enhancement. Language centers, various professional seminars, as well as psychological trainings can help anybody in self-development. Notably, obtaining an international certificate has become possible without leaving home owing to distance education, online courses and trainings. Approximately 38% of participants of online trainings enroll in courses for the sake of career and 62% for personal development. At the same time, more than 75% of students already have a bachelor's degree. The basis for efficiency of any self-education program is certainly time management skills. Because of that, these days, time management courses are growing in popularity. Nowadays, the pace of life is accelerating. We have to solve more problems and complete more tasks per day and sometimes even per hour. If we do all that in a disordered manner, our work is not always effective. Time management trainings are quite popular because interested people learn to plan their time in order to be as efficient as possible in the environment they want to work. Psychologists note that we first of all should prioritize our undertakings and get rid of habits which take a lot of our time, the most precious thing for today. In most cases, such factors are called thieves of time. They include social networks, video games, television, and even the simplest and most common situations which often play the part of a losing strategy for time management. There are a lot of time thieves. We can meet them in everyday life and at work. Among them are, for example, when we come to work a little bit late, when we drink tea with a friend, when we talk with our colleagues about how we passed holidays, and so on. All these are time thieves. Excessive relaxation at home, long-lasting phone talks, and anything that impedes us to achieve our goals are thieves of time. But it would be an error to assume that the ability to manage your time will automatically solve all your problems. Only balanced combination of aim, evaluation of your own capabilities, pursuit of success and hard work help in personality development and career advancement. Therefore, if a manager wants his or her employees work more efficiently, enrolling them in time management courses will not be sufficient. Why time management is so popular? Perhaps because employers often think that if they teach their subordinates to manage their time, they will sort out priorities and work like mad. In other words, some managers think that this is a sort of a happiness pill, but I think that this is a substantial misconception. The experience suggests that this is not very effective because people do not know well their priorities. Nonetheless, there is a certain demand for time management classes because they are efficient to some extent. Nowadays, improving management abilities, acquiring skills of a good manager, or receiving efficient advices from a business coach is possible at any time. This is only a matter of money. Some advisors charge too much because their name is known. Others teach their students in expensive business schools. Masterclasses can help us to save a lot. Usually they cost between 3,500 and 8,000 tenge per day. For comparison, the price of full-fledged courses begins from 10,000 tenge per hour. The cost of classes depends on the number of students. The larger is the audience, the cheaper are the lessons. Along with that, the training cost directly depends on the coach's professional competence, popularity, and even place of residence. A 3-day training course taught by a business coach from abroad costs on the average 100 to 250,000 tenge. The price of lessons of a local coach varies between 50 and 120,000 tenge for the same period of time. The difference can be explained by traveling, accommodation and rent expenses. One of the most important tasks of Kazakhstan's state policy was announced in December 2007 in President Nursultan Nazarbayev's report "Development of Human Potential is the Key Priority for Independence." Education is a priority sector for economy. There are a lot of programs which are a part of educational services. Education has been included into the list of priorities of the Global Roadmap 2020. The government of Kazakhstan and entrepreneurs support funds place great emphasis on the issue of human self-development. There are special programs which help to implement education-oriented projects. This includes preschool education, secondary education, various educational centers such as early development centers, as well as language courses. The support can be financial and non-financial. Financial support is given under Roadmap 2020 program in the form of subsidies. In Almaty, in Astana and in other regional centers, 7% of expenditures for education is subsidized by the government. In small towns and villages, the size of subsidies reaches 10%. The concept of human development in Kazakhstan and many countries is based on the vision that a human life is valuable not because people are capable of producing various goods, but because this is a development objective. That is why the government makes all efforts to provide access for people to programs and trainings which, along with easy-term loans, could also help them to plan and run their businesses in a right way. We offer entrepreneurs to take part in our trainings. All our business trainings are absolutely free. Some of them are intended for beginning entrepreneurs who want to start their business. We also conducted a 3-day seminar for entrepreneurs where we discussed legal aspects such as writing a business plan and analysis, as well as various pitfalls which can emerge when you start your business. The most common trainings offered at the market of Kazakhstan, 33% are courses for raising financial literacy, accounting and foreign languages. They are followed by time management seminars, 22%, personal management courses, 15% of announcements close the top 3. The rest, 30%, are shared between psychology, handicraft, cooking and other courses. Time management is a term which appeared in the 1970s. It was the time when we could witness the growing number of various trainings and educational programs. Daily planners have also become very widespread. The first clients of such courses were employers of major airline companies. The discovery of famous 20/80 principle by Wilfredo Pareto had meaningful influence on time management. Pareto concluded that 20% of all efforts give 80% of the results and other 80% is spent for the rest 20% of achievements. Therefore, activities can be divided according to the degree of importance of the proposed outcome. According to the Pareto principle, we spend 20% of our time on 80% of our achievements. Probably the rest 80% we can spend on other achievements. Then the efficiency will be 400% as against 100% of time which we spent on one and the same thing and achieved only 100%. I often observe it in business when a manager catches some sort of happiness pill when it is quite unnecessary. As a result, they lose their resources. From the point of view of business, it can be so that when we try to make something absolutely perfect, we destroy our business because our competitors did not do that and saved their resources.
И с точки зрения бизнеса может получиться так.
1 hour equals $1, concluded the Americans as early as in 1987, when the world's first time bank appeared. Its only currency was hours and minutes. People could buy on them any type of services in exchange for their skills. For example, someone who taught piano could receive a lawyer's or doctor's advice as well as do manicure. Initially, such time exchange was intended for poor people. However, presently the American Time Bank has millions of depositors and offices in almost 40 countries.